BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The United States says it will be looking for the Taliban to make good on a pledge to respect human rights that it gave in its first official statement since taking control of Afghanistan on Sunday. From Washington, here's John Sopel.
We've seen from the US side an attempt to try to paint a more positive picture of what is going on, stressing not what has gone wrong over the past few days, but the ramping up of flights out of Kabul airport to take people to safety, 4,000 troops on duty. And this is an attempt to change the narrative. We heard from the National Security Advisor, him saying that we've received assurances from the Taliban that we will be able to go ahead with those flights. So clearly there is someone from the administration talking to the Taliban, and that is significant in itself. On Taliban assurances that women will be treated differently, I think the attitude of the administration is very much deeds talk louder than words.
In his first news conference in Kabul, the Taliban spokesman sought to reassure the rest of the world that Afghanistan will not be used as a base for foreign fighters to spread terrorism. Guy Pitt has the details.
The Taliban spokesman, Zabihullah Mujahid, insisted Afghanistan wouldn't again become a breeding ground for terrorists, and he gave pledges that women's rights would be respected, within reason, though they would need to comply with Sharia law. There were undertakings too on press freedom, on reducing the country's drug production, and on the safety of interpreters who'd worked with Britain and America. But international reaction was muted, with many questioning whether the promises made in the capital would be kept in the rest of the country.
The United States Air Force is launching an investigation after human remains were found in a wheel well of one of its aircraft that flew out from the chaos at Kabul airport on Monday. It said it would carry out interviews and review video material to establish the circumstances of the death and reports of other people falling from the plane. The authorities in Haiti now say more than 1,900 people are known to have died in Saturday's powerful earthquake. More than 130,000 homes were damaged. Rose Delaney of BBC Monitoring in Miami says the situation has been exacerbated by the heavy storm that hit Haiti on Monday.
There's been over 84,000 homes destroyed or damaged from the earthquake. After Tropical Depression Grace brought really strong winds and heavy rainfall last night. So on social media, lots of videos were being shared of earthquake victims who were left without shelter, covering themselves with umbrellas, bed sheets, anything they could find, even tattered tents. And also hospitals are now overwhelmed with victims of the earthquake.
Rose Delaney reporting. World News from the BBC. The Peruvian Foreign Minister Héctor Béjar has resigned after a storm of accusations that he is a sympathiser of a rebel group which killed tens of thousands of people. His critics say that in a video last year, Mr Béjar alleged that terrorist acts by the Maoist Shining Path rebel group had in fact been started by a CIA-trained navy. Fire crews in southern France are still battling to control a wildfire near Saint-Tropez, a day after it broke out in a motorway service area. About 900 firefighters, backed by aircraft dropping water, have tackled the flames in the hills behind the Mediterranean resort. Daniel Wittenberg reports.
The blaze broke out in a motorway service area in the drought-affected Var region. Within a day, strong winds fanned the flames over 6,000 hectares of forest and scrubland towards the chic resort of Saint-Tropez. Tens of thousands of people, including tourists from campsites, were swept to safety. Many were only given minutes to evacuate and had to flee on foot as the fire encircled the main road. Emmanuel Macron left his holiday at the nearby presidential fortress of Brégançon to thank the emergency workers, saying the worst had been avoided, but the battle continues.
Police in Algeria have arrested more people suspected of involvement in the lynching of a man falsely accused of starting forest fires last week. The new arrests mean that more than 60 people have now been detained over the killing of Jamel Ben Ismail, who was beaten and set on fire. Astronomers have captured some of the most detailed images ever seen of galaxies in deep space. They've been created from radio waves emitted by the galaxies, and they're in much higher definition than normal, revealing their inner workings in unprecedented detail. One image shows the universe when it was relatively young, just 2.6 billion years old. BBC News.